Welcome back, everyone. It's EvanHusa57 here. We are back on Neverwinter on the Xbox One, now in Mod 10, I might say. And today I will be going over what is new with the Storm King Thunder update, or expansion, or module, whatever you want to call it. Basically, this is going to just go over what's new, my opinion of it, and give you the patch notes. So a lot of stuff changed with Mod 10. There's two really big key points, and the rest of them are kind of small things. So to go ahead and get started, the first thing is we have the Storm King's Thunder campaign, which is something that you start with Sergeant Nox and Protector's Enclave, get a quest, complete that. It unlocks a completely new area, new dungeon, all kinds of stuff. The thing about that is you're going to most likely need some new armor to go in there, and that's going to be hit or miss. Now, with this campaign, we do get some nice boons, but they're not necessarily game-breaking. So that's going to be a lot of fun because it's a completely new area and lots of stuff to do. I'll cover going through that campaign in another live stream. So outside of that, there has been graphical improvements to the game, which there are with every module usually. Just a little bit of a shine, sheen, and polish kind of thing. A couple of the cues have actually been changed now, which is really good. The Prophecy of Madness, when you do that, now actually correctly displays whether you get silver or gold ranking, and it increased the frequency of the portal spawn. So it's basically, short is, it's easier to get gold on now. Also, the glitch that a lot of players had when they would queue up for any of the dungeons and they wouldn't be in a group, that has also been fixed. We have the new dungeon, which is the Fang Breaker Island. This one is going to be a bit of a problem because it is a tier 3 dungeon, so you have to have 3100 item level to queue for it. And you also have to have 28% of the Everfrost damage resistance. So now there are ways to get that without having the armor, which brings me to the next thing, which if you go down to your collections, you can actually go to Storm King's Thunder, and you can see the new armor is the Relic armor, which is technically the strongest armor in the game, except it has a combat time remaining on it, which is very annoying. So basically, it's armor that has to be constantly maintained. There are other armors, Frostburn armor and things like that, which are pretty cool. And there are other rings now that you can get, including more legendary rings that give you either double defense or double offensive slots. Those rings also give you Everfrost damage resistance, so it's not going to be too hard to get that 28% Everfrost damage resistance. With that being said, we have a new lockbox out. Let me find it right here. It is the Runic lockbox, and you can actually get the Manticore mount, which is pretty cool, and a few other nice, neat things, you could say. There's been a few changes to companions as well. Some companions that weren't proccing right with bonding stones and weren't classified right, those have been changed and now work properly. And they still have not gotten the bug fixed with Protector's Camaraderie and the Mercenary Companion. So the Mercenary still does not proc Protector's Camaraderie, unfortunately. One other nice neat thing is there are now potions of grand healing. So it basically used to be healing potions were worthless because the highest level one was 65 and only healed you for 10,000 HP. Now there's actually a true level 70 potion that heals you for 70% of your maximum health, up to 25,000 HP. So that's a really good potion. It's actually made potions useful, as opposed to just being kind of a waste of space. With all of that being said, there's a few other changes and class rebalances to the Hunter Ranger, the Scourge Warlock, and the Guardian Fighter. If you want, you can go and look up the exact patch notes for each one of those classes. I'm not going to go into it. It just rebalanced the Hunter Ranger, the glitches and bugs with the Scourge Warlock were fixed, and now tanks or Guardian Fighters can actually be a DPS Guardian Fighter, and they can do damage in addition to tanking. Unfortunately, the damage boost from Into the Fray has been capped. With that, there's another thing that I want to go over, and this is where we're going to get into the really big thing, and that is Astral Diamonds. So Invocation has been changed. Instead of rewarding you with rough Astral Diamonds, it now rewards you with a 50% rough Astral Diamonds bonus. This is good and bad. This is good in the fact that you actually earn more rough Astral Diamonds from all your invocations. But in order to actually claim those rough Astral Diamonds, you have to do something that rewards you with rough Astral Diamonds. Whether that be a dungeon, a skirmish, anything like that. You have to actually do a task that rewards you with them. However, don't fret if you don't have time to do that on your characters for one day, or you did invocation for multiple days or anything like that. Don't worry about it. There's now an icon that appears underneath your character name that's literally an Astral Diamond symbol, and basically it'll tell you how many points you have towards your Astral Diamond boost, and the maximum boost that you can have is 100,000. So in other words, you can log in, do invocation on characters, play your main, worry about doing tasks that reward you with Astral Diamonds later on your alt. It'll just sit there. It's still a great idea to do your invocations because now you actually get more diamonds from them. Alright, coming to the point that everybody's been worried about, and this is what kind of really also pissed me off, but in a way, it's not too bad, and that is the Salvage Nerf. So everybody's been calling it a Salvage Nerf, but it's just been a adjustment. So it's good and bad. Items are now classified into small, medium, and large, and they are also classified based on their rarity. Any item of level 130 or higher. So blue gear salvages for less than purple gear does. So purple gear is better. However, this has nerfed some of the rings, some of the lower stuff. If we look at this ring of sudden precision +1, it used to give you 3,000, and then I have VIP 7, so 10% bonus, which would be 3,300 rough Astral Diamonds. Now, however, it only gives you 2,200 rough Astral Diamonds, and that's with VIP 7. So even on a double diamonds event, that would only be 4,400 diamonds. This means that certain T1 dungeons and skirmishes are now less profitable to run, borderline non-cost effective if you don't have free daily dungeon keys for like Lair of Lostmouth. So I'm not really happy about that. It's not a huge nerf, but it is substantial. Now I do like, however, like your Elven assault gear. Now this piece is considered medium, and instead of salvaging for 4,000 or 4,400, it now salvages for 5,000 or 5,500 if you have the VIP. So basically you get 1,000 extra Astral Diamonds for that, as opposed to what it used to salvage for, which actually makes running dungeons that give you Seals of the Protector more efficient than running dungeons that only give you Seals of the Elements. So that is a nice thing. As you can see, let me go over and I'll show you these Elven Assault Robes. Oh, my little anvil disappeared. Darn it. There we go. Salvage these, and you'll see instead of salvaging for 5,000 or 5,500, they now salvage for 6,000 or 6,500. So the main hand weapon and the armor piece are now your most expensive and most valuable pieces. I'm okay with all of these changes. What I'm not okay with is because of the fact that rings all fall into the small category, they have now made running dungeons like Castle Never potentially the least profitable in the game. And the reason for that is, this Ring of Orcus +4 used to salvage for about 6,000 diamonds, And on double diamonds, it would be almost 13,000 diamonds with VIP. Now, hold your breath, and you might want to be sitting down for this one. It only salvages for 4,400. So, it's in almost the same classification as a regular blue ring. Now, you can see that this ring, being purple, salvages for 2,000 diamonds more than what a blue ring salvages for. Which is good because of its rarity, but basically you just took the most valuable item for salvage in the game and made it one of the least valuable items in the game. Come on, Neverwinter, what the hell are you thinking with this? +4, +5 rings should be in their own category completely, at least giving you 5,000 for salvage. So now you're going to have to rethink on whether or not you actually take that chest in Castle Never, because if it's only a +4 ring, it's not going to be that great of a reward. With that, that's the largest of the changes to the game. There's a couple other minor tweaks here and there to some different powers and companions and stuff. I'm not going to go into detail on every single one. You can look up the full patch notes on the forums if you would like. I will also mention that the calendar has been updated, finally, which is excellent. So on the 20th, we have double professions, XP, and resources. The 27th, double enchantments, a trade bar store discount. That's going to be interesting. And also the Masquerade of Liars, so the Halloween event's coming back. Then on the 3rd, we have the Stormfront CTA, double glory. The 10th is double guild marks, double seals, and the Siege of Neverwinter. This is excellent because that means that the Quartermasters, what used to be the old Salvagers enchantment, is no longer going to be an enchantment that a simple rank 5 cost you like 300,000 diamonds. It's no longer going to be the rarest enchantment in the game. So that's excellent if you want one or you are using one. The 17th, we have Siege of Neverwinter continued, double enchants and runestones. And then on the 24th, we have a massive combination of events, which is the Siege of Neverwinter ending, double Astral Diamonds, double guild marks, double refinement, double experience, and a Wondrous Bazaar store discount. Which, that's going to be very interesting because it's 15% off of all purchases in the Wondrous Bazaar. Kind of cool, actually. Very helpful for getting rewards. So all that's been updated. You'll see me going through the new campaign and everything in a live stream very shortly, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. There's only one other point I wanted to touch on, and that is mounts. There are now new mount insignia bonuses, which is really, really cool. There's a few of them that unfortunately I can't cycle through and show you exactly, but they're basically more about power. There's Slayer's Redemption, which is nice. When you kill a target, you're healed. We have a couple different ones. Let me see if I can find the power one, which is actually kind of weird on it. I'm not entirely sure how I like it or not. You have Berserkers Rage, which is pretty neat. This is one of the ones that I do like. While you're at full action points, you gain 10% of your armor pen as power. It's cool, but most of us don't really have a ton of armor pen, so I wouldn't recommend it because using your daily on most classes is more efficient. Let me see. There's the one. This is the one that I liked. Assassin's Covenant. You lose 10% of your defense, deflection, and lifesteal, and gain the combination of lost stats as power. So this, theoretically, could actually give you a lot of power, depending on your class. And that's only if you can afford to lose the defense, deflection, and lifesteal. It's also a regal and 2 illuminated insignia, so it's not the best insignia type, but it's a really neat mount bonus. At least I think so. And I'm going to play around with using it on my control wizard because I have unbuffed about 30,000 power and 10,000 defense. So I'd only lose 10% of that. I'd lose basically 1,000 and gain an extra 1,000 power, which is about 2% more damage. I have 0 deflex, so that wouldn't help me there. And I only have 3,700 unbuffed on lifesteal, so I really wouldn't be gaining, that much. One of those things, though, you got to remember every 1,000 to power is basically a 2% outgoing damage. So right now I have a set plus 73% damage bonus. If I got another 1,000 power, that would give me a plus 75% damage bonus. So it's one of those that's kind of hit or miss, but it depends on the mounts that you're running and if you have mounts that you can swap out. Like on this character, I do have mounts that I can swap out. I still have the Winter Wolf, which is only a 2-stat one, and I have the Polar Bear, which I can swap out as well. So I have 2 extra ones that I can use. Anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed. You'll see me going through the new campaign on the live stream, like I mentioned, a little bit later. I also will be doing some more content for Gears of War 4 and all of that. There is one more thing. I know I'm like, oh my god, it's, are you over yet? But no, there's one thing that I do want to touch on that's important, and that is relics. There's now a couple things in the store that you can buy. You can buy the Master's Trial Box, which allows you to find epic quality artifacts. That's pretty cool. That's basically to get your artifact gear. And there's also a new companion, which is the Remoraz bundle. And the Remoraz helps you out by when you dig for a relic, if it has like a 20% chance of finding you another relic, and if it's upgraded, it has a 40% chance of finding you a relic, which is really cool. Plus, its active bonus isn't bad. When you attack, you have a 5% chance to ignite your target, doing fire damage each second for 5 seconds. And it also comes with a Frostburn piece head pack. And the reason why the Frostburn gear is nice is the Frostburn gear, one piece of that set gives you an additional chance of finding a relic. So it's actually a really, really good bundle to get. Unfortunately, this Remoraz is not available by itself. You would have to try and buy it off of the Tarmaloon Trade House if you wanted it just as it is without the Bonding Stone and the Frostburn headgear. Anyways, I will see you all next time. Remember to comment, like, and share the video. It greatly helps with the searchability of videos here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Stay frosty.